Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're talking about Laramar City updates. That's right. There is an update in case you've missed the social media post, in case you missed the live stream. They have an environmental impact report, is what I call it. That is a license that is needed in the Dominican Republic. That starts the update. And now I know the next question that everybody's going to ask. I'll hold that for a second until we go over the PDF. That's right, it's 20 pages at least, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll go over parts of it, but this will be short. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Please share the videos. That way we have other people that know about what we offer here. Now, today, the Larimar City Resort, Larimar City and Resort, is in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. It's a pre-construction property. People have been waiting for any news, any updates over the last year and a half, trying to find out, is this really going to happen? And if it's built, it would be one of the top 5 places to come and stay or live in the world. So that's how significant this could be. And some people bought in the early months of the pre-construction project, so those people have every right to wonder what is going on since 2021, 2022, 2023, and it's already summer 2024. Here we go, because once again, we always have to start on the mothership, the SSN Nation YouTube podcast page. And why? Because we have members of the channel over here on the right-hand side. Courtesy of YouTube, they show a few people. Why would a few people join? Hit that join button to support the channel financially. Why? Because the YouTube gods show us no love, first of all. Second of all, under the community tab, they receive 1 or 2 videos per month specifically for them. They receive the link to any live stream that we do where they can actually come on the live stream and discuss anything they want to do. And if some of you are camera shy, so be it. No problem. Turn off your camera, you can still be on the screen. It'll just show an emoji that you don't have to put in. It's automatically fulfilled for you. So these are just some of the perks. Plus they have special emojis themselves that they don't realize that's in the chat room. So let's get into it, shall we? Where I'm going to go right now is to this report. This is it. Obtaining an environmental license in Laramar. Okay, now let's get to the top of the story. As far as I remember, I could have sworn it was only 600 and some odd acres. But now it has ballooned to 3.5 million square meters. There's a little bit more than that, but here it is on the screen. 3,512,795 square meters, 0.15. That translates into roughly 840 to 850 acres. That is a large parcel of land. And just so people will understand the easiest way I can do it, if you have 40 acres, by 40 acres as a parcel, that's a half mile by a half mile. So that should give you some idea when they start talking about 800 plus acres of land. It's significant. So when they say that they can build 3 kilometers of a boardwalk, which is 1.8 miles, Well, yes, if you have 800 acres configured a certain way, you could do that. And if you can do that, and a country, city, state, or province has rules in place such as endangered species, such as endangered flowers, fauna, anything like that, trees. If you are trying to protect rivers, lakes, streams, and you need a 30-meter cushion around those, you gotta take heed. You need a license for that to say that you are going to adhere to this and you're going to adhere to any inspections. That's literally what the environmental license means. And sure, you're going to pay a little bond like $16,200 or something. That's nothing major. But you have rules because we don't want anything to be worse ecologically. And if they're sticklers for this, which I am not familiar with the Dominican Republic being sticklers, because again, I have not built in the DR. So all I can tell you is I don't know the actual procedures or timelines for how long it takes to go from an environmental license approval to the time it goes to permit approval to start building. So I do know if everything is kosher, if you do not have a permit, it could take 3 to 6 months to get a permit to start building. So hopefully they're getting fast tracked after this license so that for you will know what is going on. Now, that's how I'm starting this, okay? Because an environmental license does not mean that they're building tomorrow. This actually just happened July 23rd. This approval was handed down. All right? Just so everybody understands. And look right here. They're going over everything that already has been approved by the province, by the government. This has been approved already a long time ago. The thing that wasn't approved was this environmental situation on 800 acres. There has to be maybe some endangered species. What do you have to do if there's endangered species or if they find out about some special trees or flowers or any other type of vegetation? Well, either you're going to have to build around it or you're going to have to relocate. That takes time if you have to build around it and relocate because that will change plans. So again, these are the type of things that a lot of people do not realize, and I didn't realize they needed this as well. But nonetheless, all of it, you can see it here, up to 30,000 homes. Homes means condos as well. 6 hotels with 2,000 rooms. Wow. I didn't realize that's significant. Artificial beach at 50 to 60 meters high. I don't know what that means. All right, only Larimar, Claire HP, who's the developers of this, would know what that means. So far, they are not really the best with social media. Let's just put it that way. 18-hole golf course and country club, hospital, wellness, and weekends. I will have a link to this PDF down below. So if I go too fast for you, get the link down below in the description box, okay? University, school, office area, casino, restaurants and bars, shopping center, small business commercial areas, green areas, paved streets, sidewalks, curbs, parking, renewable energy system, which I love. This renewable energy system I want to hear more about. Infrastructure of basic services. And this license, by the way, is only good for 5 years. That's right. Right here. 5 years. So that means at the end of 5 years, people that live there and develop there, you can make comments down below. This would indicate to me, because this project will clearly not be finished in 5 years. So that means we have to do some renewal. That also means that they better have been paying attention to all of the rules, because if they flout the rules from the Environmental and Natural Resources Committee and that license, that means they may not be renewed, which means you're probably going to have to halt building. All right. This is very, very serious if they actually enforce this in the Dominican Republic. All right, so I'm just going to scroll through this real quickly because I have a few things to say. Now, here's one of the things that you have to pay attention to within these pages. Here we go. It starts right here on this page, number 5, because now there's wording. The promoter is the developer, and on page 5 they start using sponsor. So apparently whoever the sponsor is, they also are going to be part of being under scrutiny, meaning the sponsor and the promoter are under scrutiny for violating any of the environmental and natural resources provisions. So it starts right here. The sponsor prepared and presented the required environmental impact study, which was duly evaluated following the environmental evaluation procedure adopted by the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. So again, this puts the sponsor, which I don't understand that. Maybe somebody else will chime in. All right, so just keep this in mind. Now, we'll just scroll through here. I'll start going down. But once again, there are certain things in here like this. The promoter, okay, 4th, established. General law of environmental and natural resources. This environmental license obliges the promoter, which is the developer, assume administrative, civil, and criminal responsibilities for damages caused to the environment and natural resources. If these damages are a result of the violation of the terms of established in this environmental license, you must assume the pertinent legal and economic consequences. You see what I'm saying? The language is clear. Observe the provisions established in the current special rules and regulations. 3, execute environmental management and adaptation program. And number 4, allow environmental inspection by the competent authorities. That's right. They're just not going to take people's word for it. So who's the competent authorities? It's these guys, the environmental and natural resources people. That's who it's going to be. All right. Now, the promoter will inform individual project promoters, lessees of the land located within the project development area covered by the environmental license, as well as the promoters of service infrastructure projects that they wish to locate in the area, which must be independently submitted to the environmental impact assessment process in accordance with the general law. So see, here we go. Here we go. So somebody says, I want to do a third party golf course maker. I can't remember who it is, but there's a third party golf course. That means they're going to have to submit their program to these guys. So see, this isn't so easy as just Larimar themselves. At least that's what I read. Maybe Larimar will come out and actually address this situation with this environmental program. And maybe they'll address the situation by simply saying, we're starting to build right now because we have the permits. Or maybe they'll say, we don't have our permits for another 3 to 6 months, so we can't start building right away. And then maybe they'll join into the SSN Nation plan and give everybody a 24-month extension on their contracts. Just saying. Because that's where this is going with me. All right? Well, you guys already know, or give me a refund. Simple as that. The promoter will be responsible for clearly and unequivocally establishing and informing in detail the individual promoters to whom transfers for sale, lease land located within the project area, within those 800 acres, ladies and gentlemen, the environmental requirements established in the provisions of this environmental license, and must notify in writing the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources about sales or lease actions of land located within the area of the project. Okay. This is clear. You're not going to bounce around and transfer it to some other company and then be like, well, and then do something wrong and then claim that the other company didn't know. See, this is what I'm saying. This is a little more serious. This is like Vistacana. When some people say Vistacana started like 2010, 2009. Well, guess what? They had to go through this same thing, all the acres they have. That's why it couldn't get developed real quick, because they had to go through the environmental impact. when you start talking about these large swaths of land, there could be lakes, streams, rivers, caves, which, by the way, if there's caves on there, underground matters as well. You can't be dumping garbage in the little caves or any landfilling or doing anything like that. All of this is in this report. You can read it down below. In fact, I'm going to leave the English version. I only caution you, the English version was translated by Google, and some words between Spanish and English, quite frankly, could be mixed. So I will also try to include a link to the Spanish version if you want to read the Spanish version. All right. I can't guarantee that I'll have that after I create this video, but I definitely will have this one, the English speaking version. All right. So those are major in themselves. But I want to point out the 11th on page 9, where it says promoter will comply with best practices of environmental territorial planning, establish hydrological zoning, prioritizing wetland areas, water production areas, biodiversity conservation, among others, and guaranteeing a mandatory protection strip of 30 meters on both banks of river currents as well as around lakes, lagoons, and reservoirs. 30 meters is about 100 feet, right? So that's what it has to be. So you're not just busting out things right on the edge of rivers, lakes, and streams and reservoirs. You got to be 100 feet back. Now, I don't know if you can get some sort of easement exceptions or anything, but it's pretty crispy clear. I've seen another environmental report, and it seems to be standard issue about these 30 meters. And I told people on the live stream, when I was out at Michi's doing my due diligence at the Laguna Limon in Michi's, they have it the same thing. You can't, from the lake, you have to build, anything you want to build has to be at least 100 meters back. And because of the floral and fauna situation there, you can't build docks on the beach like you normally would do. You can't build those concrete pylons and all that. You can only use wooden walkways and wooden docks if you're going to build any docks, which in a saltwater environment, wood and salt, good luck on the how many repairs and upkeep and maintenance you would have to do. So again, this is why you need to know about these things, because it's not just simple. Here's the sponsor. The sponsor undertakes to preserve, or here's the key, transplant within the project area the species included in the red list of endangered, threatened, or protected species of the Dominican Republic. On 800 acres, somebody might want to tell us if you know anything about Veron, up there where they're building Larimar, up there where they're building Cruise on Land. I'm pretty sure all these people have this same type of environmental impact study and report and license. So you can easily understand, it says just what I told you at the top, preserve or transplant. So if there are any species on the red list of endangered, threatened, or protected species of the DR, you got to either leave them or you got to transplant it. And if you have plans and all of a sudden you find out that there's this underground lake or a lake you didn't know that's freaking a mile over, which is a long way, quite frankly, and all of a sudden you find some endangered species or protected species, and they have maybe not that big, 100 yards by 100 yards, right? But that's still 100 yards by 100 yards. Are you going to leave them there? Or are you going to transplant them? Which now means cost, time, money. All right? So that is important. There are certain other things in here. So again, just read it. I'm just scrolling through. All right? Here's the dumping features. 17th on page 10. The dumping of debris or garbage is prohibited in karst areas, river and stream channels, caves, sinkholes, land depressions, and drains. How's that? Now, The next one, the destruction, degradation, impairment, or reduction of natural ecosystems and species of wild flora and fauna is prohibited. See what I'm telling you? I don't know if there's any up there, though. Only Larimar and whoever helping them build it would know. And I don't even know if anybody's actually walked 800 acres or not. I mean, sure, you might have walked, drove in and drove through, but you really never know what's over 2 acres away without going over there, right? That's crazy. As well as the collection of specimens of flora and fauna without having the due authorization of the Ministry of Environmental and Natural Resources. Now, I'm willing to bet you on 800 acres, there's probably is going to be some flora or fauna that's on the list. Trees or whatever, I don't know, but that's a large swath of land. Here's the other thing that's important. The sponsor will guarantee that the materials from the Earth's crust to be used in the construction phase of the project come only from companies authorized by the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. How do you get authorization? I mean, what is that? I don't know what it is. Does anybody else out there know? Make comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'm hoping it's simple as, hey, this company we want to work with, they're on your authorized list. If they're not on their authorized list, then what? I mean, sheesh. All right. Let's go with the 9th on the 10th page. 19th, the sponsor will inform the Ministry and Provincial Directorate of La Altagracia at the time of start of the construction and operation phase of new components of the project, and will allow the visit of technicians from this ministry for due inspections. Okay, so I guess that says they're going to stay on top of it. Let me know again. I don't know if the DR is stickler for this, but I know in Cali it would be sticklers for this. All right, so this gives you guys an idea. This is nothing that you got to sneeze at. This isn't something that you can just brush off. All right, look at this one on page 11 out of 19. The promoter will request the modification of its authorization environmental in cases that imply the need to adapt the management program and environmental adequacy, PMAA, as changes in technologies, processes and or products, expansions of the productive capacity of goods or services, construction of new infrastructure within the limits of the surface area covered by the environmental authorization, remodeling of infrastructure, expansion of surface extension, change of beneficiary or name of the environmental authorization. All right, and oh, by the way, the time that they can actually do something, this is very important. The developer will establish a schedule for the development of work during the construction process hours from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. You heard me. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's all the time you have. 11 hours. Saturdays until 1 p.m. I guess that's 7 to 1. 4 hours. You can't work on Sundays and you can't work on holidays. They only have 11 hours a day that they're supposed to be working. Allegedly. Let's just put it that way. That's it. See, this is not what most people would think. You're thinking, okay, we'll do double shifts. We'll do 16 hours a day, right? You would think that's easy. No. Now you're understanding why some of these projects are taking longer than expected. You can't be working up there till midnight. In fact, you couldn't be working past 10 in most cities, 9 or 10 in the first place, because normally there's a noise ordinance if you're in the city. If you're outside of the city, like in this case, normally they'll give you some exceptions. But I don't know about in the Dominican Republic. So once again, this seems prohibitive to me. This means we can only do 11. How much can you do in 11 hours? I mean, sure, if I have 1,000 people working for me, we can do a hell of a lot. But if I only have like 50, what can I do in 11 hours? I'm doing hand-to-hand for most of these projects out there. What I mean by hand-to-hand, I mean I have people handing people buckets, handing people cement. I have people on the second floor, which is really the first floor, But imagine floor number one. And in order to build above floor number one, you have people standing on the second floor and they're doing hand to hand movement of bringing up materials to the second floor because they don't have the automation or the equipment that you can do forklifts or whatever else to put it up there. This takes time. So I'm sure Claire HP has the necessary equipment to make things go faster, but still, from that 11 hours, that's not a lot of hours per day on a schedule. All right? If you want to get things done. And clearly, you can't work on Saturdays all day. You can't work on Sundays. And do you know how many holidays they have in the DR? Seriously. I mean, there's like probably a month worth of holidays in the DR alone. So a month is pretty much gone. I'll have to look at that myself. But I mean, they got a lot of holidays. And you can't do any Sunday. So that's 52 days you can't do nothing. Right? 52 Sundays you can't do anything. So there goes 2 months damn near out of your schedule. Then on Saturday you can only work half a day, 4 hours, half a day. So you got 52 of those. I mean, so now you start really thinking about it. It's like 2 to 3 months are gone out of a work schedule. That's crazy. So I'm just saying, this is why when people say, well, why are things taking too long? Because if people have rules like this, it's going to take long. All right. Undertakes. Number 4, sponsor undertakes a place, a road signage system will apply control measures for the proper management of vehicle traffic areas during the development of the project's construction activities. All right. I'm going to move on a little faster because this is taking a little bit longer. I'll just go down here. The generator houses will be completely sealed with acoustic blinds and covered with noise insulating materials. See, they're giving them all the information within here, what they have to do. I'm more interested in what the environmental agency recommended, because there's a recommendation letter or report out there as well. I don't know how to get it, but I wish somebody would get it for me because I want to see what the ministry actually recommended that these guys do, because that would be very interesting. That would be a telltale sign. Having fire extinguishers, place hydrants and fire hoses in strategic locations, place the system plans and evacuation routes necessary for cases. Oh, here's one that's very, very interesting. Where is it? They require that you have EMTs available on site in case somebody gets hurt. I don't know what they mean by that, but it's in this report. I read it on the live stream. That's what just made me remember this right here. I thought it would be in this area because I thought that was very interesting. So again, it's a big thing. Big thing. I don't see it here while I'm looking at it, but it's a big thing. The developer will execute energy saving programs, energy efficiency, solar panels, among other things. Implement technology to save drinking water in bathrooms and domestic services. All right. So all of this is in here. This is pretty serious. Helmets, masks, glasses, and all that, obviously. I'm looking for that EMT because I thought that was very, very interesting. So it's probably on this page somewhere, but I don't see it real quick. But, oh, here it is right here. 44th on page 14. The sponsor will have medical facilities with first aid with the necessary equipment for emergency cases that may occur in the development of its operations, as well as the means of transportation for the transfer to the nearest health centers. I thought that was interesting. Now, I don't know what they mean. And here is the bond, 936,000 Dominican pesos, which is roughly 6,200 USD is their bond. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to keep going down this list. And here's the coordinates for each parcel, or I don't know what these coordinates are, but probably it has something to do with what they're designing in the project. And there's a couple, up to 134 apparently different coordinates. There's a lot going on. Oh, there's more. 238, 316. After this line, there's nothing else written. So here we go. Let me know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about this? This is very, very interesting. I know what you're thinking. Let's hear from Larimar, right? I know some of you are owners. Some of you have invested there. I haven't received any emails. Have you received any emails saying, hey, the environmental report came out. We've got our license. We're going to start building next week. Let me know if you have. But somebody sent this to me and I didn't even know about this Instagram account, Grupo Claire HP. All right. And here is something that I translated it. We are proud to announce that the Ministry of Environment of Government of the Dominican Republic has granted Claire HP, whatever, the environmental license. Okay, that's 1 day ago. Today's July 27th, 2024. This came out July 23rd. In the hands of most people, July 24th. So I'm reading this to you on the 27th. This shows, oh no, that's what I put. Yeah, 1 day ago. People are clapping, people are happy, but they don't know that this does not mean they can start building. So otherwise, I'd be seeing in their reels or in their post, I'd be seeing something that would have pictures, right? Showing Laramar being done. I wouldn't be seeing these fake pictures like this over here. I would be saying actual bulldozers. I'd be seeing something going on this cliff or in this area, right? So then I said, okay, I don't really know about this website, but I do know about this one, Larimar City on Instagram. So I went over here and I said, okay, let's see if they tell anybody anything here. I go to Reels. There's no mention. I'm like, what's going on? I go to Post. There's no mention. You have owners, you have investors on the stock market who's interested in this information, and you have investors who actually bought inside Larimar City. I mean, this is like disrespect. People are wondering for the last year what's been going on. And the point I'm trying to make is they're sitting here with no responses to their investors whatsoever. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I find it disrespectful. Because once again, this is the least you can do after you've been collecting people's money without giving them any information. Disrespect. So again, let me know what you guys think down below. There's a link down below so you can pull up the PDF in English and read it yourself. If I can load up the Spanish version, I will do that as well. There'll be a link for the Spanish version down below as well. The reason why I oftentimes have problem with large PDFs is because they take up, they're like 180 megabytes. And sometimes the hosting situation doesn't allow you to put on that many megabytes for one little PDF. So that's why I have to do things a little bit differently. Now, some of you are owners, some of you are buyers. I know first phase, I realize it's your last payment is August, a year from now, August 2025 for most people, for Prime Towers, for H1. Clearly, these are 17-story high buildings. Some people would say 15. All I gotta tell you is the penthouse is on the 15th floor and the 16th floor. And you have to have a roof on the 16th floor. So that's why I call it 17 floors. There is no way, clearly, that they're going to build 17 floors in 12 months. Even if they had the permits to do it. That's not possible. They would have to do more than a floor a month just in gray work. All right, so never mind the plumbing and the electricals and all that, elevators and things like that to put into these buildings. Golf courses are not built in 1 year either, and generally not even 2, because you have to have the grass if the 9 holes on the first phase is supposed to be still done. If any of the cliff is still supposed to be done on the first phase, whether it's a 1/6 of a kilometer or 1/6 of a mile. Those are man-made beaches that they were going to create, beach clubs with retail also. Now, those cannot be built in 7, 8 months either. All right, let's just get real. All right, I mean, so everything that would need to be done, you can guess. Are you going to guess it's going to take 2 years? Or are you going to guess it's going to take 3 years? But I don't think anybody can say it'll be done by January 2026. Any phase. All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing, let me know how you feel down below. All right. Let me know how you feel. So that's why I feel a certain way, because there is no contact letting people know that there was some approval via email, that there was something on all their platforms for social media. You have people that are giving them thousands of dollars per month, and the least they can do is give out information, especially when people are excited, people feel like they've been ripped off, they don't know what's going on, there's anxiety, they know that they are fearful. So the least that anybody can do at the Larimar offices is send out information or post information so the world can see. Now, let's see. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why pre-construction was great. But again, that anxiety level keeps rising as a year comes, and then you find out, yes, it's not going to be done on your expected delivery date. And then you're wondering, when will it be done? Which now puts you in a little anxiety. Can't blame you for any of that. I blame the person that claims they're the builder and doing it without being forthright, letting people know what's going on. That would be the best policy. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.